Help me grow, fast or slow, as long as I know you're digging for gold. Help me learn, soft or stern, as long as I know you're digging for gold. Life's a movie, the ultimate trip. You should have been told you'd be digging for gold. Hello, my friends, and welcome once again to another episode number 26 of Digging for Gold. I'm your host, Dan Goldberg, as you know by now. Hopefully you know by now. Don't forget, like and subscribe to all our podcasts on Spotify, on YouTube, Instagram has our shorts and so forth, and all the icons to subscribe are at the bottom of my website, which is dangoldberg.com. Today, we have another good friend of mine, old friend, but a young man, because some of the people are like old friends that are old, okay? This is Dave Siwy, and we've known each other for years. We've taught at the same universities together, and now Dave is an expert on the housing market. For all of you who are looking for houses, want to sell your house, want to buy a house, I want to talk about the housing market with Dave. Okay. How's the housing market now there, Dave?
Well, first, I'd like to thank you for inviting me.
My
this
pleasure.
was great. I was looking forward to this. I mean, I watch all of his podcasts, and they're all great. You definitely should check them out. But the housing market these days is still crazy. It depends on where you're at, where you're located. Where we're located in this market is very hot still, especially for sellers.
Right. This is Philly, by the way. The Philadelphia general area.
Like the metro area.
The metro, yeah.
So like the five counties, even drips into New Jersey and Delaware. Housing around here is still very hot, especially for sellers.
Right.
You can go to Florida. Right now it's more of a buyer's market. There's a lot of housing that's been sitting. It just depends on where you're at. So when people say, oh, the housing market's great or not great, it just depends on the location, depends on the area.
So here it's good.
So here,
if you're a seller.
I mean, it's good for buy. I mean, I'm busy. This was my busiest year ever.
Really?
Ever.
Well, what about the mortgage rates? How does that impact things?
You know, when they talk about the Fed, everyone says, oh, the Fed's going to cut the rate. It doesn't really translate into the mortgage rates. So those rates, it's not the same. Right now, the rates are either in the fives, like mid to high fives, or low to mid sixes. That's probably what you're going to get right now.
What does it depend on?
Credit score.
Credit score.
So you need a good credit score. You need to have, on your credit, you need to have at least 2 line items where you have credit. So whether it's a credit card or a utility bill or something, like not a utility bill, but like a cell phone bill.
Right.
That'll work.
Oh, that's cool.
So like the younger people, if there are younger people watching and you're looking to buy a home, you need to start establishing credit now. And you need to maintain and keep the scores really good. And there's a lot of things you can do. Maybe that's something for a lender at some point. But the one thing I'll say is if you have a $10,000 credit card limit, don't go above 30 or 40%. So if it's $10,000, don't go above $3,000 or $4,000 in a given month. Try to pay it off if you can. That builds your credit score. That's one thing I can do to help you. You want to have good score because you get better credit.
Yeah, and I'm a big proponent of not spending too much on your credit cards and then paying it off at the end of the year, the end of the month, so you have a zero balance at the end of the month.
Yep.
That will build up your credit score.
100%.
So, have a zero balance, folks.
Yeah, okay? Definitely.
But you got to use it during the month, so otherwise it'll just sit there and.
Right. You have to, the revolving credit's important.
Right.
Obviously, if you're younger, you might have student loans. That'll be on your credit report. Make sure you pay everything on time or even earlier if you can. One of the things I'd like to mention, since we're bringing out first-time home buyers here, is there's a lot of great grant programs, especially in this area right now. My lender has, I think, 4 different programs, and she's one of the few people who has all these programs that you can combine. So you can get anywhere from $10,000 up to $40,000 in free grant money or more.
Wow.
It's income-based. It depends on there's certain criteria. It's either a first-time home buyer, meaning you've never owned a home, or if you've never owned a home in the last 3 years. So if you owned a home in, say, 2019 and you sold it and you haven't owned one since 2019, you would be considered part of that program.
Wow. So how do they find out. Well, they got to get in touch with you.
Wait, I mean, you got to call me. I can get you all the information.
How do they get in touch with you?
Well, you can give me a call or you could check me on Instagram, Facebook, but my number is 215-778-6277, and I can help. I mean, my biggest thing is the people who have like younger people, first-time home buyers. I really guide them through the process so that they can understand and start building generational wealth now versus waiting. Like, wouldn't you have liked if someone left you a bunch of acres or a bunch of properties?
Yeah.
That's what my goal is, to help the younger generation, because no one's helping them figure this out.
How do you spell your name? Okay, so everybody knows this.
My last name is spelled S as in Sam, I as in igloo, W as in werewolf, Y as in yellow.
So it's Siwy.
Siwy.
Like what you said before.
Yes.
Yes in Spanish.
Yes.
Yes,
in
yes
French.
in French.
Yes.
Siwy.
Oui. Yep.
Merci. Gracias, señor. Gracias.
Yep.
So, what about veterans? Do you deal with veterans?
I do. They have a lot of programs for veterans as well. The VA loans are 100% financing, so you don't need money to put down on a home. There's closing costs, and there's other costs associated with it. However, some of those costs can be taken off because you're a veteran. I like to give discounts, especially to veterans. I believe in. Thank you for your service, by the way, for being in the military.
My pleasure. Thank you.
My grandparents were in the military. I wish I had been in the military. It didn't work out for me. But, yeah, we have great programs for veterans, first-time home buyers. I mean, really anybody. They have things catered to almost anybody, really.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe I'll buy another house from you. I got one. I mean, it's like, we talk about getting a house down the shore. Mm-hmm. What about vacation houses?
Yeah.
How's that work?
So I'm actually licensed in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Maryland, and Delaware. Currently working on a couple other states, but I do down the shore as well. And there's some great houses. There's diamonds in the rough. That's what you have to look for, right? Because everything down the shore can get really expensive really quick, depending on what town you're in.
It's true. Alex, as usual, is here, and he's down the shore all the time doing his surfing. Right, Alex?
Yeah, but it is prime Beach Haven location, LEHYC neighborhood.
Yep.
Like, probably every single decent house there, especially Oceanside, east of Bay Avenue. They used to call the Boulevard, like over $2 million. So our house, we're probably going to rent out this season just because the neighborhood's getting out of control.
Well, here's something interesting. Alex was just speaking. If you couldn't hear him because he's not in the microphone, he has a microphone on him. That's correct. He's
Smart guy.
He's actually our Ed McMahon.
I like it.
Yeah, so get your DJI products now because it looks like everything's fire sale. Who knows if they're going to be able to stay in the country that much longer.
Yeah, exactly.
It's true. It's true. So, do you know anyone, this may sound like a wacky question, okay, who has licenses in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland, maybe New York, Virginia, and then all of a sudden Idaho?
Yes.
You do?
Yes. I mean, it's one of my licenses, I'm looking at New York because it's close enough to drive.
Right.
And I think I could get some business there. But Florida.
And
that's nowhere near here.
No,
but it's a quick flight, and housing down there.
My grandparents lived there, and then they lived here and there. But it's interesting because I get the feeling that places that we don't normally think of in Philly are growing, like Idaho, the Boise area, Montana, Wyoming, all those places where, from what I understand, people are moving out of California and they're going there.
Same with New York. They're moving out of New York.
Yeah. Maybe they'll come to Philly.
They already are. I mean,
They are.
Upper Bucks County, Washington Crossing area, Upper Makefield, Lower Makefield, Newtown. A lot of people come there because it's an easy commute to get to Trenton, get on the train.
Right.
I do a lot in the Poconos. There's a lot of people from New York now purchasing in the Poconos, like Wallenpaupack's popular.
Oh, Wallenpaupack, I've been there. Yeah.
Lake Harmony, still popular. Like, they're destination places. People are,
They're leaving New York.
Yeah, they are.
They're leaving the city.
They are.
So Do we have to now talk like this, like we're from New York? Will I have
I
to
hope
like
not.
do the podcast in a New York accent?
I hope not.
No.
I like the Philly thing. I like the
like the
Johns
Philly.
and the
Yeah.
used guys and Acme.
Acme. That's right. It's Acme. But if you're from New York, it's Acme. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah.
So tell me what some of the crazier things that you see happening in the housing market now. What have you seen?
Like me personally, like I've gone to a house and seen, or just like with
Either
the industry.
way.
Wow. I mean, there's a lot of things. I've seen things in houses you wouldn't believe.
Like,
I mean, I've had clients who have had 20 years worth of stuff that just never got cleaned out of their house. The one person I had cats. I think one or two of the cats possibly died in the house. But you could smell from the front door about 15 feet away. When the door was open, you could smell ammonia. Like that's how bad the cat urine was.
Cat.
No, the cat urine was. It was just so pungent.
what do you do with something like that?
I mean, I ended up putting it on the market and sold it to an end user, not someone who was going to flip it. They wanted it, and I'm assuming they cleaned it out, got rid of the flooring, definitely disinfected.
Wow. So you sold it at a discount, I would think.
No, actually, I think
Really?
I sold it at premium. It was a couple of years ago, yeah.
Wow.
Yep. I have had rats as big as cats. I've gone into houses where the kitchen literally has a rat in. They're like, we can't go in there. And it was like a rental. And I'm like, what? They're like, yeah, there's a big rat in there. Like, how big? They're like, about this big. I mean, I've seen all kinds of stuff. The craziest things you couldn't imagine in houses. It's just baffling.
What'd you do about the big rat?
I didn't go in the kitchen.
Really? How'd they get rid of the cat? How'd they get rid of the rat?
I
Send in a tiger.
mean, I don't know what you do. Like the rat, when it's as big as a cat, that's pretty bad, right?
That's bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was it? What area was it in?
Right down by the zoo.
Well, there you go.
I mean,
There's your answer.
it could have been one of the zoo animals. I don't know.
So it was in Philly.
Oh, definitely, yes.
Yeah, it was in Philly.
Yes, no doubt.
Downtown in Philly, big rat there.
Yep, big rat.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So what else?
Crazy
This is so
story.
interesting to me because, I used to have a real estate license years and years ago.
Oh, yeah?
After I was getting ready to sell Four Eyes, but before I made that commitment, I used to negotiate all the leases, and I figured, why don't I just get a license? And I did, but I let it lapse.
Yeah.
If I would have known, are you a broker?
Yep.
I would have just hung it in your place. I didn't know that.
Well, maybe because we
Too
knew
late.
it. Well, we could check it out.
I got it at Temple. I went to the real
Oh, yeah?
estate school. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So wait a minute. So I want to hear more crazy things. I think the people out there want to hear it.
So some crazy stories. I mean, I've gone in houses, usually there's a lockbox, you knock, I always say like, hello, anybody home, whatever. Walked in on people doing things they shouldn't be doing, either illicit drugs or perhaps in the shower coming out and like, I guess their agent didn't tell them, hey, look, you have a showing, so
Yeah.
seen
Get,
people.
Put some clothes on.
Yeah, put
Don't
some
be
clothes
wet.
on. Yes.
Things like that.
I've walked into rooms that I guess the people were renting out to other people, and they were doing activities that
Having
were
sex?
Yes,
Ha-
trying to be PG here.
Well, you can. What do you call it? It's okay.
Yeah.
You can just say, you can even have sex in this house.
Yeah, I mean
There you go.
that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
Chains around refrigerators
What?
with the padlock. I've seen cockroaches as big as your foot. I mean, it's crazy. The things that I've seen. It's
Did you ever walk out of a house and say, there's no way I could sell this house?
So one house I went to one time in, I want to say I don't know if it was Alney or, it wasn't far from Cheltenham, but I walked into a house and whoever was there, they were no longer there, but they had dog droppings, so like literally dog poop. And when I tell you I couldn't walk, like inches apart, like I had to tiptoe, and they had fleas, and I brought a suit with me, and when I took off this whole white jumpsuit, I still had fleas on me. I had to take off all my clothes and put them in a trash bag. I was basically driving home in my underwear.
Wow.
It was that bad.
Oh, right. I remember when that story on the news about this guy driving home in his underwear, and they wanted to know why. He said fleas.
It was that bad. That was probably one of the worst ones I've gone into.
Did you say I'm not selling this house?
Oh, yeah. There was no way. I mean, it was uninhabitable. I mean, it's a major issue. I mean, I've seen houses where you can almost fall through the floor. It stinks to high heaven. I went in one house. They left the ice box, like in the basement, open. They had food in it, and the power was shut off. And someone opened it up, but didn't clean it out. The whole house stunk like a dead animal. I mean, I'm sure there was carcass, like meat, chicken, whatever, in there.
Which are dead animals.
And this was in the summer.
Oh man,
it was ripe.
Whoa,
it was ripe.
This is very interesting to
Yes.
me. You know, mostly when we talk about like real estate agents selling houses, you never talk about this stuff.
Yeah.
You never find out like all that trashy, goofy, crazy crap.
This is the glitz and glamour that people don't see.
That's the truth. Now, on the other side, let's what's the nicest place you've seen? Have you ever sold like some celebrity's mansion?
Not
or
a
something?
celebrity, but I mean, you know, the most expensive, I've sold in the millions, but probably the most expensive was recently with a partner of mine up in Lake Wallenpaupack. It was $3.19 million.
Wow.
That was just like a month or so ago.
They wanted me to buy that, but then they wanted $300 down.
Yeah.
And I said, "What are you, crazy?"
No, well, the veteran, you didn't need anything down.
Well, that's true. I should have called
mean,
you.
you should have
Right,
thought about
that's
that.
true. I didn't think about that.
I mean, I've seen some very beautiful homes, but again, I've seen, like I have a home right now, so I do REO properties, which is real estate owned, bank owned properties.
Right. That's defaulted properties.
Right. Something
Yes.
that went to foreclosure or whatever. Now the bank took it over. I have one currently not far from here, actually very close to here, very, very close to
It's not
here.
downstairs, is it?
No, but it's probably about a 5 or 10 minute drive, and I have to take outside pictures. It's an outside assessment because the people who owned the house are still living there, squatting basically. He came out to threaten me, threatened me with firearm.
Wow.
I've had guns pulled on me, knives. Yeah, I mean,
Wow.
all kinds of stuff. Like, it's
Wow,
fun.
it's
I've had to
dangerous.
call 911. If you call 911, but don't say there's a weapon involved, they don't rush to get there. But if you say they have a gun or a knife, and they do, I mean, you don't want to lie.
Right.
Definitely, if they have it, mention that. They got there one time in literally a minute or two. It was crazy how
Wow.
quick they got there. Yeah. The best part of where I show houses is probably Kensington. Zombie land, they call it.
Yeah.
I've seen things that you can only imagine. If you actually go on Google and do like a Google Maps, because I always like to plan out my trip, there you see guys on the corner literally flipping off the Google truck. You can actually see this, yeah? You can see it
Really?
on there. Yep.
Wow. Yeah, Zombieland. But it's being gentrified, isn't it?
It is. I mean, it started down, sort of near Center City, Northern Liberties, Fishtown.
Yeah.
Kensington's within 10 years will be gentrified, I think.
Totally.
It's got a while, though. I mean, there's
Yeah,
a
you
lot
gotta
of
walk around the
bad
needles.
spots.
You can't-
Oh.
Don't walk on the needles. Yeah.
I mean, I've seen it firsthand. People bent over, like literally bent in half. I don't know how they stand up. I mean, I just don't know how when they're done leaning over. And I feel bad. It's a sad situation.
It is
but,
very sad, actually.
I'm not poking fun at it. I'm
Yeah.
just saying, like, it's very sad. And if you want a wake-up call, take your family there one time just to see. If you grow up in the suburbs, you have no idea what people are like. And these are people that aren't just from Philly. These are people who came from the suburbs, went down there, and then they got stuck in that area.
We were taking it lightly, but I think everybody, one way or another, almost every family, has been affected by drug use. People in their family, people they know. And it really is sad. It's a terrible thing, which leads to families being intact in a nice home, and then the family begins to crumble. The home begins to crumble. And before you know it, you're going there trying to sell a house that looks like a crap hole,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
When it was maybe 5 years ago, a really nice house with a really nice family. So that's something that we should be really concerned about, and we are as a society. It's sad. It is sad.
No, 100%. I agree with you. I mean, it's an epidemic, and it's needs to be taken care of, and it's people of all different socioeconomic walks of life. I mean, the demographics. I mean, you see old people, young people, rich people, poor people. It doesn't matter what color your skin is, what religion you are, what sexual. It affects everybody.
It does.
It is very sad. So no, I'm not poking fun at it, but yes, it is. This is what I see on a daily, and I have to go down early in the morning because by noon and later, it's just everyone's everywhere.
Yeah. They're still asleep.
Yeah.
Or knocked out.
Yeah.
You know.
It's safer for me to go in the morning early. I try to schedule all my appointments as early as I can.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's the furthest house you've sold away from this area?
Furthest from here, one down in Delaware, like very southern Delaware.
Well, it's
Like I think it was Salem.
Salem.
Delaware.
Yeah.
Or, up in the Poconos, definitely like Wallenpaupack for sure. Penn State. I sold one at Penn State.
Oh, really?
Yeah, this is the funny story.
Wait, you went to Penn State and Temple?
I went to Penn State and Temple, and I taught at both.
There you go.
I mean, it was my
America, what a place.
I know,
It's
right?
great. Yeah.
But I had a guy who was referred to me from somebody else. He bought a house with somebody else. I don't even know how I got this family, to be honest. But I did some work at their house because I flip houses. I do construction. Like real estate's my main job, but I do other things. And I was referred to him to do some work. It was a 203K loan they're getting, which for those who don't know, it's a rehab loan. You can rehab your house or buy a house with a rehab loan and then fix it up and then convert it to a regular mortgage. So I did some work for
Wait a
him.
minute. I want you to explain that a little more.
Sure. Excuse me. So how?
And then get back to doing the work.
Sure.
Yeah.
So how it works is you find a home and it needs work, right? It doesn't matter how minimal. It could be just paint, flooring. It could be something major like rehabbing a kitchen, a bathroom, the roof, whatever. So it's called a 203K loan. It's an FHA product. There's other products out there, but FHA, for those who don't know, is a government product, like the VA.
Right. And what did it stand for? Federal Housing
Yes.
Administration. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So basically what it does is it gives you the opportunity to purchase the home, and then they have an appraiser come out. They also have a consultant come out. The consultant basically does an estimate on what they think needs to be done in the repairs, and then people bid on it to see who can get the job done for X amount of dollars. You have a certain amount of time to get it done, and then once it's done, you convert it into a regular mortgage, like just a regular product, not a rehab loan.
Right. So I want to understand this and clarify it for people out there. I'm looking at a house.
Okay.
Okay. And it needs $100,000 worth of work.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Outside, inside, everything. The house is on the market for, let's say, $300,000.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But I know it's going to cost $400,000. Right?
It's what it's worth. So the 300, let's say it's on the market for 300, needs 100,000 of work. When it's done, what's it worth? If it's only worth 320, it's not going to work.
Right.
There has to be a buffer of some kind of value, basically, when they do the appraisal. So they'll send it out an appraiser and they'll say, if you do all this, what's it worth? What's it worth now? What's it going to be worth?
Okay.
There has to be equity in the house. You can't just fix it up and now it's worth $320, but you spent $300 to buy it and $100 to fix it. That's not going to fly.
Right.
That's why they have like flippers and investors who go in, lowball, buy houses, pennies on the dollar, because not everyone wants to do that work. Because most people want to buy a house and just move in.
Correct.
It's a great product. I mean, I always tell people it's actually a better product than a regular FHA loan, even sometimes better than conventional, and even still with cash. I mean, cash is king still because there's not an appraisal and whatnot, but when you get a 2 or 3K loan, you have to get all these things fixed. So it doesn't matter what's wrong with the house, it's got to get fixed anyway.
Right.
So it's actually a better product when you're in a bidding war with a conventional person versus this. Say, look, this stuff's going to get fixed anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but like you said, there has to be equity when you're done.
Right.
So if there's $100,000 worth of fixing up, and you paid $300 for it, you have to make sure that when it's done, it's worth at least $400.
Right.
Right.
it's called comps or comparables. They pull comps and they say, okay, and it usually goes by location. So what's the proximity to the home you're purchasing? It goes by the square footage, bedroom count, bathroom count. So when they pull the comps, they want to see that other houses have sold for like maybe 500,000.
Okay.
Fixed up. So you're getting at 300, putting 100,000 into it. There's 100,000 of equity. That's a good thing. That's what you want.
Right. That's what you want. It's great. This is good information for our people out there. So you were saying in up at Penn State in Happy Valley.
Yeah. So this gentleman who doesn't live far from here, again, another close one, right in Huntington Valley, right near the country club. I did some work for them, and then after the fact, they had a daughter who wanted to go to Penn State. I kind of helped when I was teaching at Penn State. I wrote a letter of recommendation. They got into University Park, went up there. After, I think, the first 2 years in a dorm, they decided to buy a condo up there. So I helped them. I went up one day. We looked at a couple places, put an offer in. That's probably the furthest sale I've done, 3.5 hours.
And it's nice up there.
Oh, it's Happy Valley for a reason.
Yeah, it is. It's happy.
Yeah.
Got to be happy up there.
It's a great place.
Yeah. Yeah, they're both great. Temple's great.
Yeah, I love them both.
Yeah. They're
both different, totally different.
Yeah.
Yes.
One's in the country, in the middle of the country, and one's in the city.
Yes.
But before we went on the air, you were saying there was some stuff crazy stuff you wanted to talk about.
Well, not so much crazy, but the one thing, so for those who don't know this or not, when I first met Dan, I call him Dan now, but he said I could call him Dan, Dr. Goldberg, right? Like, so I feel when you have your doctorate, that's how you should be addressed unless you say you can call me Dan, right? So recently, Dan had texted me. We were going back and forth about doing this podcast, and, always signs off, thanks, Dan. One of them said Danny, and I thought it was funny because I've never heard him say that. But then I was listening to his most recent podcast, and I'm not going to be a spoiler here, but you should watch episode 25. There was a lovely lady on there, Connie, last name Lan. And I had a chuckle to myself because I thought, wow, Danny had a little lamb. And that's all I'm going to say about it. You have to watch that podcast or listen to it. It was, but very funny. So if you actually write a book about that, which I think you should call it "Danny Had a Little Lamb." I think it would be.
I love that.
I will get. You can have it.
Thank you.
You can give me a little credit.
I will. Geez, I got to write another book now.
I think it would be awesome. I really do. I'm not going to spoil it, but I think that was the one thing I thought about before I came in today. I was like, I want to say this so bad because it would be so cool for you to do that.
Geez, another book. I'm writing a book now that's been on hold. I've written 4 books actually, so that would be a good one. That would be a good one.
And tell the story.
Yeah,
Danny Had a Little Lamb. I think would be great.
It's a hell of a story.
About positivity.
It is. Yes,
and what came from something.
Exactly.
You got to listen to his podcasts. I mean, I've listened to a bunch, yours included.
Alex. Yeah.
Bo Kimball.
Yeah.
I watched Fluoride. I forget the gentleman's name.
Dr. Larry.
Yep.
Stone.
Yeah.
Larry Stone.
Yeah.
It's interesting that you bring up Larry and some of the other ones, Bert Cohen and Carl Mason, Alan Scheinberg, Barry Ginsberg. So,
I was driving down the Turnpike, and you can see the nice big new Acme box building.
That's
right?
true.
Yeah.
That's Bert Cohen. And the interesting thing is all of those fellows I've known for many, many years. And to them, I'm Danny. To ones that I didn't go to high school with or didn't grow up with.
Central, right?
Central High.
And you were Semper Fi?
What?
Were you?
No, I was in the Army.
Army, sorry.
Yeah. So it is interesting. I can tell by the way people address me how long I've known them. Okay? So somebody calls me Danny. Some call me Dan, but usually when we're talking for a while, it's Danny. I grew up with them, okay? Dan became later. So people like you or Alex or Peter or whomever, I'm Dan normally. And to some, I'm Dr. Goldberg, okay, the more recent. the more recent one, my students and so forth, if they call me Daniel, I know that they're looking for a donation, okay, or something like that. But that's it. So it's like having four names.
Yeah.
That's an interesting thing. So as we progress, okay, and now you're deep into the land of real estate.
Right.
And I think that this is really important for people because there's a lot of people out there that are looking for a home or looking for a condo or looking for an apartment. Do you represent people looking for apartments or you just stay away?
I do not shy away from anybody.
Okay.
I always want to help people because it doesn't matter if you're buying in the millions or a piece of land for $12,000. I did one a couple months ago for $12,500. I think that's the lowest I've ever had.
Right.
I want to help people. I believe in helping people, finding people housing, even if it's just a rental. I don't make a ton of money off it, but it's not the point. It's to be able to get somebody into a house where that they feel safe and comfortable. It's always been my motto, like building generational wealth. Safety first. I always believe in safety first. So
Right.
like depending on who's buying and where they want to buy. You know, if I'm helping a single mom, I don't necessarily want her kids to be in a neighborhood where she has to constantly watch her back.
Correct.
You know,
Correct.
so
Yeah. And plus, that $12,000 landowner or that apartment occupant someday will call you back and say, Dave, I'm looking for a house.
sure.
That's how you build your kind of generational, what's the term I like to use? It's, anyway, it's
referrals,
lifetime customer,
clients, yes.
lifetime customer value.
Yeah.
Okay. So that one person who buys a pair of sneakers at a store, if you treat them well, you can actually formulate how many times they'll be back and what through their lifetime
Yep.
or their buying lifetime that customer is worth. So it's not that $150 pair of sneakers. It may be $2,000 worth of sneakers. It's the same way with housing.
Well, you know, and to your point, that person might come back. I don't look at it like that, but yes, there's a
Or
value.
refer you
But they're
somebody.
right, and that's what I was going to say. There's a value added there because even if they never buy another home with me, and they refer somebody, so sometimes agents are like, "Oh, I don't want to do the rental, or I don't want to help someone do a $100,000 home." I'll take anything. I don't care.
Right.
For me, there's that possibility where somebody knows somebody like, oh, you know, my uncle, my cousin, my sister, my whatever needs a home. Yeah, that's great. I mean, I go to work to make money. Obviously, I have to pay my bills.
Right.
But I believe in helping people out because home ownership is probably one of the most important things. It's definitely the biggest purchase you'll ever make unless you're buying a business, of course.
Correct.
But usually buying a home is your largest purchase more than a car.
Yep.
I guess it depends because some people buy really expensive cars and, you know, you're foolish because it's a liability where a home is an asset. So, you know, building generational wealth, I always tell people buy a house before you buy a nice car because the car is going to lose value. The house doesn't. It appreciates. And getting into a little bit of what I was going to say with the younger people, any younger people, or even people who are any age really, you buy a home, you don't spend a whole lot of money on it, you live there for a little bit, and then you rent it out, or a duplex, and you rent it out, and then you buy your next home, and you just keep going, buying and buying and buying, and now you've built up a portfolio of housing. Housing is by far the best way to make money, more than anything. Yeah, you might make money real quick with crypto or on the internet or something, but digging for gold, for example,
Right.
real estate is the one thing. So pay attention. This is very important. It's not the stock market. It's not gold and silver. It's not crypto. In order to buy a house, you need to have cash or a loan. You have to liquidate those things that I said to buy the home. But if you own a home where you can make a lot of money and build equity, you can take out a new mortgage and take out money to use it on other things. You can get a home equity line of credit and go buy a second home or an investment property. In order for you to have your crypto or your stocks or your gold or your
Right.
silver, you have to sell that in order to buy. But real estate, I can own it and then leverage it.
It's true. It's true.
That's
yeah.
what you should be digging for, not just
Yeah.
gold. You should
Yeah.
be digging for housing, homes.
Yes, because there's gold in them there homes.
Yes, there
Right?
is.
That
100%.
it is amazing. That's great advice. Great advice. And I think that there's a lot of people out there that should be doing it, or maybe even are doing it. I mean, when I talk to my students, some of them are already doing it. It's like, whoa. Okay.
Start now.
Yeah,
Because
good for
think
you.
about it. If you're a 20-year-old student, right? I just had someone last week, 20 years old, buy a house. By the time they're my age, unless they refi to take money out, but if they just pay for over 30 years, that house will be paid off.
Right.
They'll be paid off by the time they're my age. And
Yeah.
now that's a revenue generator. Like they're going to, not only has it appreciated in value,
That's true. That's true.
like you bought it at 100 grand, now it's worth 300 grand or 400 grand 30 years later, but someone else has paid down the mortgage for you.
Right.
It's like a savings account.
Right.
And now you're getting residual income each month coming in as rent,
Yeah. Yeah.
and you also have the value of the house. You could take money out of that house and like a home equity line of credit. Well, if it's a rental, not that, you'd have to refi. But even if you refi, you could take that money out. You're not paying taxes on it.
Yeah, it's true.
It's a great way to leverage that money without
Yeah.
having to pay the government.
It's true. So you buy a house,
Mm-hmm.
you pay off the mortgage.
Correct.
You're now, instead of being 20, you're 50.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You move to another house.
Mhm.
Okay. You have somebody paying you every month. Okay. It's residual income.
Yep.
Okay. Or you buy the house, and 5 years into it, you're still paying the mortgage.
Mm-hmm.
You rent it out. Okay. So they're paying your mortgage
Mhm.
pretty much.
Yep.
Okay. And you can even get an apartment,
Yep.
do whatever you want.
Yep.
You met someone you want to marry,
Mhm.
they already have a house, you move in with them, you're still getting residual income. Or you leverage the house to get more money to buy another house, as you said earlier.
That's exactly
So
right.
it's real estate is a very interesting commodity. It is probably the only major commodity, as you said, that accrues value,
Well, you can live there.
right?
You can rent it out.
Right?
You can live there and rent parts of it out.
Correct.
You can build more on it. It's if anybody knows the song by I think it's Jordan Davison and Luke Bryant, it's called "Buy Dirt."
Buy dirt.
Mm-hmm.
You buy dirt.
And there's a line that says, "You can thank the good Lord for it because He ain't making any more of it."
It's true.
If you look at cities, what do? They go up.
They go up.
They build up. But you buy out in the suburbs or in a rural area, and you buy land, and you can have tons of stuff.
It's true. That's true. I am, a city I love is Istanbul,
Mhm.
okay, in Turkey. And we've traveled there, my wife and I, a number of times. It's all up. There's just so much land there that you can build on. I mean, it's everything. It's twice the size of New York
Mhm.
from a population standpoint. And everything is up, and up. So you're right. I mean, there is no more land. There is what it is.
If we don't start buying it, what's happening is the corporations are buying it, like BlackRock, et cetera. They're buying housing and land, and like I'm pretty sure Bill Gates is the largest private owner of land in America. I know China owns a lot of America.
Ted Turner.
They're all owning it. And what's going to happen one day? Your kids, grandkids, great-grandkids, at some point, you might not be here, but it's that generational wealth. Wouldn't you have loved to have had a parent, grandparent, great-grandparent, somebody pass it down so that it's easier to own? Like the
Yeah.
land is owned
Yeah.
outright. You just have to redo the house, like remodel it, fix it up, or
Yeah,
whatever. But the land is the part that's
it's land.
right.
And if you get some acreage, then I remember when I lived in Philly and I built a house in Philly, we had a small little plot beyond the house. And it was beautiful. It was a beautiful house. But that was about it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I rented a place, had a little bigger one, and then I moved. Okay. And now, when you live out in the suburbs, or what do they call the next one? The exurbs or whatever it's called, beyond the suburbs.
I
Okay.
just say rural area.
Yeah, rural. I still think about the 7.5 acre farm I had, and it was little farm, but we grew a lot of things on that farm, and the creek. And I thought, boy, this is great. I loved it. My wife wanted to move back into the city, but now when I go out there, it's all built up.
Mm-hmm.
So they used that land. Now my old land is still a 7.5 acre plot, but everything's built around it. And this may sound like it's freaky, so I don't want to freak you out or Alex or anybody else, but I had a dream years and years ago about the land I had. And in that dream, I saw how they had built up all around it in a dream. It was so clear in my dream. The next day I woke up and I said, I have to drive out there. This is too crazy. And I drove out there and, all right, hold on to your chairs, everybody. It was exactly like I saw in my dream.
I believe it.
It was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And I went, whoa, what is that? And they built it up. It was out in western Montgomery County, here in the Philadelphia area. And I'll never forget it. And it's built up a lot out there. There's still more land, but owning land is a major deal. Mm-hmm. And I suggest people do that. Yeah.
One of the things kind of touched a little earlier, we talked about down the shore, right? Beach Haven and LBI. The reason why people love being near water is because there's only so much land near water.
Right.
So it's a commodity. That's why the shore houses are way more expensive than, say, where we're at.
Right.
But a lot of times, so where Philadelphia is and where I live now, I live in Doylestown. 50 years ago, it was very more rural than it is now. Things go upriver. So people slowly start migrating out because you can still travel if you have to work in the city. A lot of times now people work from home, so you don't have to necessarily, it doesn't matter where you live.
Right.
But a lot of things go upriver, so things have slowly migrated, to Upper Bucks and into the other counties. They'll eventually clash where Bucks County will hit with Lehigh or Northampton County. Montgomery and Bucks, same thing.
Right.
You go out a little bit out to Berks in the Schuylkill County. You start going towards the Poconos. That's God's country. I mean,
Right.
My grandfather had a little spot up in Lake Malpaupack when I was a kid, and something in Potter County too. I don't remember, but Potter County, there's like nobody up there.
Yeah.
That's God's country.
Yeah.
They had like one bar and like one traffic light, whole county.
Yeah.
Something like that. I don't quote me. I don't know that for sure. So.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's when you drive out towards Penn State, you see a lot of that.
Yeah.
When you drive towards Temple, it's highly populated. It's urban center, and a lot of students like to go there because of that. Other students want to go to Penn State because of that. Okay, and they both have their reputations, but there is something about living out in the country and looking up at the sky, because you don't have that ambient light. You just have the stars.
No light pollution.
No light pollution, exactly. And that's when I had my farm. I used to love it. I would drive out after working in Philly and get home, and I would park my car by the barn. And before I walked into the house, I would stand out there for 5 or 10 minutes if it was, this time of year, which is now, we're recording in December. The sun goes down at 4:30, 5 o'clock latest, and you could see all the stars. And I loved it so much, but still, even now where I live, you can see some stars, but it's not like way out in the country. And certainly in Potter County, you're going to see all the stars. You're going to see the universe right up there. You're going to see the Milky Way and things like that.
So I want to ask you a question. Did you have the beard back then?
Well, this beard is Velcro. I put it on for the show because
I want to stop him for a second. I got to tell you a quick story. So how Dan and I met, I had applied for a job at Penn State as a professor, an adjunct professor, and right before I had gone in for the interview. Now, I have not clean shaven since, I think, 2007. right around there, 2006, 2007, something like that. And this was right around 2015. I came in, and there were 3 gentlemen there to interview me. This is the only time I ever actually had an interview for a job.
Really?
Only time I ever used a resume. Crazy as that sounds. Only interview, only resume ever for Penn State. And I was basically going through the motions because I kind of already had sort of an in. But I'll never forget, I walked in, and all 3 guys had beards. And I had it wasn't clean shaven. It was just like that 5 o'clock shadow. What did you call it?
George Michael.
George Michael.
That's an older reference.
Yeah, like
at
a
this
very
point,
shorter than this. I had just cut it, and it was as long as Dan's beard is now. And I even said, they said, "Is there anything you want to say to us?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm a little upset that I went and shaved my beard down to nothing for this." And they're like, "Why'd you do that?" I'm like, "I didn't know I was going to be sitting here with 3 handsome guys with these full beards."
It's funny. I always tell students and anybody, even somebody's going to be your customer, right? Your client. Do your research before you do anything. Do your research. Know where you're going. Know what you're talking about. Okay. And I may have mentioned this in one of the podcasts, but I had a fellow, Dominic. Dominic, if you're watching or listening, it's you. When I had 4 eyes, I still had a beard like this. My hair was a lot fuller, okay, and much longer. And I had a store in Northeast Philadelphia, and Dominic came in for a job, and I had a T-shirt on, my 4 eyes T-shirt. And he walked in the door, and he went, "Oh, no." And I didn't know what to think. Was he, like, freaking out because this guy had a beard and long hair? I said, what's wrong? He said, "I just cut my hair to come to this interview."
Yep.
And my hair was literally down to here. Mm-hmm. And he got the job, and I said, "No, you start Monday and let your hair grow now. Let your hair grow out." So it's one of those things. Yeah, I said, "Dominic, didn't you read the newspaper? I'm in the newspapers."
Well, you bring up an interesting point because, this is kind of how I dress when I go to show houses, just so you're all aware. Sweatshirt, like, 'cause it's colder out now, a polo shirt and a pair of jeans, and not super nice shoes because I don't know where I'm going. If I'm walking into a dirty house,
right.
If I have to walk around in the yard, right. You don't know. You're not going to wear. Anyone who wears a suit and dress shoes, it's crazy because, like, I may have to crawl in a crawl space if someone needs me to go look to make sure
right.
that.
Or one of those houses where the dogs crap all the way
where
through
the dog
house.
poop is everywhere. Exactly. Yeah. So I feel as though, I understand first impressions are important, but I've always said this. I'd rather have a guy who has, like, colored hair, crazy beard, earrings, tattoos, the whole 9. If you're the best surgeon or whatever you do, if you're doing open heart to me or a family member or
right.
brain surgery, I'd rather have that person. I don't care what you look like. If you're the best, that's good.
I totally agree. I mean, I have a philosophy about cars, okay, because we were talking about cars earlier. And I'm not a car person. I was never a car person. And, I've owned a number of businesses. I could have bought whatever the heck I wanted. But I could never get myself to buy a fancy schmancy car. I had BMWs, okay, a couple of them. But I only bought my BMWs when no one else had a BMW. So it was like we would flash lights when you'd see somebody else.
Yeah, like the Jeep Wave or whatever.
Yeah. So, and they weren't that expensive, okay? Well, somewhat expensive, but not crazy.
What year did you have?
I had a 2005, I think. It was the first year. No. It was in the 80s. It was in the 70s. Okay, and it was a 530i. Okay, it was the first year, I think, for 530i's. So that was as far as I went. I had a Saab turbo, but I always thought, like, people would say, "Oh, look at it, he must be so rich. He has a Maserati, or he has a this thing or that thing," or until I realized that some people, that's all they have. Okay. I'll never forget. I was talking to a real estate agent, and I was dating someone years ago, and she was looking to buy a house. So I went with her, and it was a fancy house, beautiful house, And we sat down with the agent and we're talking, and I said, boy, who buys a house like this? I mean, it was like $500,000 back then, okay? And she said, well, you'd be surprised. There are people who buy these houses that can't really afford these houses, but they buy them so that they can impress other people. And I come back to visit them, and they don't have any furniture.
Yep.
Because
I've seen that.
Because they can't afford the furniture. And I said, what is this? You're buying stuff you can't afford to impress people that you don't even like.
I mean, your house poor.
Yeah, your house poor. So that's the way I look at cars. I mean, I drive my car forever, same car. I'm like, and I always say Warren Buffett did the same thing. Okay, if what I drive impresses you, then you got a problem.
Well, that's why BMWs can get bad reliability reputation. A lot of it is from the second owner deferred maintenance. So the first owner might be that lease person or you. I know a lot about it. I have a 98 3 Series.
Right.
And I do all the work myself. But a lot of it's that deferred maintenance, like you're saying. It's that second or third owner that doesn't keep up with it. While like a Chevy will run crappily forever, a BMW you're supposed to keep up with.
Yes, and that's why, and we were talking about that before. It's like people who buy things or dress a certain way or to impress people that don't even care about them, really.
So, perfect example, your shirt. You got a plain black T-shirt on. And I said something earlier, like I was going to dress like you today. Now, to be fair, yes, I have some logos on my stuff. Fair enough. But I'm not wearing Gucci. I'm not wearing Prada. I'm not wearing Louis Vuitton. I wear basic stuff. I have Adidas sneakers. I think I have Nike socks on. I have jockey underwear, pair of Levi Strauss, jeans, Under Armour. And the T-shirt under here is, I don't even know. Bottom line is I don't do fancy. I have a truck right now. My last 3 vehicles have all been trucks, Ford F-150s. The one I currently have has 215,000 miles. I've had it since 2018. I always buy it a year old, so the depreciation's already gone. My last truck had 250,000 before I sold it to a guy I knew for $4,000.
It's beautiful.
I don't care. Like, if you judge me that much, like, I don't. You know.
Right. Then you got the problem.
Right.
Right. So I'm not saying that if you like that stuff and you can afford that stuff that you shouldn't buy it.
Oh,
I mean,
sure.
I got friends that they buy fancy schmancy, but they can afford it and they like it and it means something to them, and that's okay. Well, dear friends, close friends that really are into certain things, but they can afford it. They're not stripping their bank account to impress somebody when they could have used it to buy food. That's all I'm saying. And that's why circles all the way around to buy stuff that will grow in value.
The whole point.
Right.
Too many people buy things that they don't need. I mean, why do you think Amazon crushes it? Because it's so easy. It's at your fingertips. You pull out your phone, you hit this, it shows up at your door in a day or two, done. And then half the time we buy it, we never use it, or we forget to return it. That happens all the time.
All the time.
Nobody cares. Everybody worries about keeping up with the Joneses, whether it's a house, a car, your clothes. I buy what I like because I like it. I like how it looks. I like how it smells. I like how it tastes.
I get it.
I don't care about anybody else's taste. That's on you, right?
Well, I'll tell you an interesting story about that stuff, about looking for deals in houses and clothes. I got a gift certificate when I turned 70. That was years ago. And it was to Nordstrom's, and I had never been in Nordstrom's because I was just a Gap guy and Old Navy, even when I was at the height of my company, stores all over the country, even when I traveled. When I traveled around the country and I got off the plane, and this happened, I remember, in Orlando with my brother and I, and we both had big beards and stuff, and the cab driver said to us, cabs, this is before they had Uber. The cab driver said, so what rock band are you guys with? And we went, we're not with a rock band. He said, sure, right, okay.
ZZ Top.
Right. I said, we own an optical company. And the guy went, oh, yeah, right, sure, okay. So, but we owned an optical company. But anyway, I went to Nordstrom's, so I bought a few things. And I like Nordstrom's. It's a good store, and they have good customer service. So I bought a pair of jeans, this brand jean. And they happen to be a Turkish company, okay? My boots are from Turkey. My jeans are Turkish. So I called my friend, my Turkish son, and he said, what did you do? How much was it? So I told him. He said, are you crazy? Don't ever buy that. Don't ever buy that again. You could have bought 4 pair of the same brand in Istanbul and still had money left over.
Oh, yeah.
And I went to Istanbul about, 6 months later, and he was right. I bought 4 pair and still had money left over. For the price I paid for this, 4 pair and still had money left over.
So there's actually a brand out there with my last name, Siwy, S-I-W-Y. They're like $200, $300 pair of jeans. I buy Levi's. I don't even buy a brand that's got my own name on it. And my name is very rare. Okay?
It is.
You don't see my name anywhere. So I don't even wear those jeans. Again, I don't care what everybody else does. I'm not trying to keep up with the Joneses. Everyone thinks they're keeping up with the Joneses. Who are the Joneses?
I don't know.
There are no Joneses. It's all in our mind.
It's totally in our
all
mind.
up here.
It's all make-believe.
It is.
It's all make-believe. I just tell people, just have fun, love other people, be tolerant. And I probably said this before, but the only thing that I'm intolerant of is intolerant people. That's it. So it's almost oxymoronic, but I'm tolerant of just about everything, okay? But I am not tolerant of intolerant people. That includes people who aren't considerate or people who think they can take advantage of people. But outside of that, it's all good. It's all cool. We're only here once. That's it. It goes like that. It's the Goldbergian theory of time, which I've stated before. You know about that, don't you, Alex? The Goldbergian theory of time.
No, what's that?
I'm glad you asked.
Uh-huh.
The Goldbergian theory of time is when you're, and I know I've said this here before, when you're 10 years old, which my grandson is today, one of my grandsons.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. We called him this morning and wished him happy birthday. Another grandson is going to be 30, okay? So he's the father of my great-grandson. But when you're 10, a year is a long time.
Mm-hmm.
It's 1/10 of your life.
Mm-hmm.
It takes a long time to get there, okay? You look at a clock, right? 1/10 of it is, 6 minutes, right? It takes a while to get there. When you're my age, I'm not going to tell you what my age is, but you can guess. Okay, I'll tell you. 78, it's not even a second, right? It's not even a minute, let's put it that way. It's not even a minute. So everything goes by real fast. It's like before you know it, it's, the year's gone. And I'll never forget, during the height of COVID and all the fears of COVID, and we put plastic up, and we were, if somebody went out, and how you wearing your mask, and is it covering your nose, and all this. And I remember saying to my wife at the time, my girlfriend, I said, there'll come a day when we'll talk about this and laugh about it and say, remember that, how crazy it was? And that was already years ago. It zips by. It zips by. And before you know it, what's going to happen? Alex will probably be the host because I'll be gone, or Peter, or maybe you, okay?
Maybe an AI Dan by then.
An AI Dan, yeah. Yeah, an AI Dan will be doing it. It's
Lieutenant Dan will be replaced.
Will be replaced by a hologram.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what's funny, though, because we're coming close to the end of the year, and you said time and how things go by quickly. What always makes me laugh is the people who always say, like the one Christmas song, hope this year will be better than last. Like, everyone's like, oh, I hope this new year is better than last year. And they say it every year. Like, what's wrong with your life that it was so bad?
Right.
What's so wrong with your life that you hope it's better than last year? Because it seems like every year you say the same thing. Like, be thankful for the fact that you're on this earth. Be thankful that you woke up today. Be thankful for
Correct.
all the things that we have that we take for granted.
Exactly.
Everybody takes for granted so many things that you don't realize. Earlier you said something about, you didn't quite say it this way, but people say you only live once.
Right.
That's so wrong.
You
only
live
die
every day.
once.
That's right.
You live every day. You only die once.
You're 100% right. Okay. Every day is like a gift. Okay. And there's another thing, as we're getting philosophical here. Now, we're not leaving the subject of home buying because you can discuss this in your home. And I'm going to bring this up about me being in my home. And a lot of people say, oh, I'm wasting time. Well, you can't waste time. What does that mean? Like, I should be doing this, I should be doing that, but I feel like I'm wasting time. It's impossible to waste time because time is what it is, right? So it's like sometimes I'll just sit there and read a book, or just sit there and do nothing and look outside and think, this is a good way to spend some time. Just observing things, just looking at things, just feeling grateful that I can do this, which is, to most people, do nothing, but it's really doing something.
Most people would like to have that time back. Ask anyone who's no longer with us. Ask people
Correct.
who have a loved one who's no longer with us if they could have some time back. And the interesting thing is people always say, and being a little bit younger than the two of us, people always say, like, I wish I had done that. Go do it now.
Yeah.
People who go back to college, like when I was teaching, I had people who come back that were my age or older. And I was so happy to see them because it's like, you know what? You took the leap. Do it. Do it now. And to tie it in with real estate, I want to quick say this. People say, when's a good time to buy or sell? It's always a good time. There's never a bad time, and I'll tell you why. Even when housing prices are high or you think rates are high, which rates in the 80s, I wasn't like owning a home at the time. They were like 16, 17, 18%.
18%. Oh, yeah.
Right?
I owned a factory at the time, and we were buying some equipment or whatever, and we went to the bank, and for a line of credit, it was 23%. That's like predatory lending.
And that's my point. People complain now about 5-6%, and it's like, really? Go talk to the people who owned a home in the 80s when it was the prices the rates I was naming. That's crazy. But it's always a good time to buy now because it's going to build equity. Even if the market tanks one day, which I don't think it's going to tank anytime soon because there's a shortage of inventory, more people now than ever living. Builders can't keep up. People are owning short-term, long-term investment property, second homes, flippers. Everybody is trying to get into it. Buy now. I had someone who bought 4 years ago this December.
Wow.
The house is worth 70 to 100 grand more now, and they're in college.
Wow.
They're in college.
Wow.
So someone else is paying their rent for them,
Yeah.
and they're making money. Always buy now. You can always refi the rate. The rate will go down at some point. You probably won't see 2s and 3s like you did. I don't think that's coming back around.
No.
But buy now because you can always refi. You can always do whatever you got to do. It's not, and if rates do go down, prices are going to go up because more people can afford to buy the house.
Yeah.
And not only that, but even if we do have a recession or depression and things start to tank, if you own it now, it doesn't matter if you have a rental or it's yours, you're making money off it. Prices
Sure.
are going to go back up.
Always. When it goes down, it bounces back up. Always. And I like what you said about doing it now, doing something now. If you wanted to get a college degree and you're still worrying about it or like, oh, I wish I would have done it, do it.
So you had a podcast, I don't remember which one, where you said you dropped out of school, went to military, and went back to school.
Correct.
I did not do the military thing. I did the same exact thing.
Yeah.
I ended up finishing better because I realized I hated the real world. Doing construction, manual labor. I didn't like doing all that. I didn't like working for somebody, a 9-to-5 job. I went back. My mother had said, I want you to go back. I want you to get your degree. So I did. And I ended up not getting only my undergrad. I got my master's. I would have loved to gotten my doctorate, but it's just not in the cards for me right now because life. right?
Listen.
But I'm not making an excuse. I'm just saying it's not right now.
Right, not right now. When I got my master's, I think I graduated when I was 57 or 58. I was the oldest in the class, older than any of the professors, I think. When I got my doctorate, I was 71. I know that I was older than everybody who taught me and anybody else in the class.
I remember when you got it.
Yeah.
I remember when you got your doctorate.
Yesterday was 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. So, these are lessons of life and lessons for life.
Mm-hmm.
Dave Siwy, just remember, si in Spanish, we in French. I want to thank you for this. This has been a great podcast. A lot of wisdom from you. I hope that the listeners and the viewers take your advice about buying a home, about even buying an investment property, renting it out, doing all these things. Repeat how they can get a hold of you.
My number is 215-778-6277. You can also look me up on social media. I am on Google as well. Like if you Google me, I have an ad going right now. So I'd love to help people, even if it's just free advice. I give advice. There's no obligation. You don't have to use me. Just feel free to reach out. I would love to help anybody.
Perfect. Dave, thank you.
My honor.
My honor.
No, it's my honor.
Listen, folks, don't forget, call Dave if you need any help with real estate, and use your mind. If you don't, others will. This is Dan Goldberg, once again, digging for gold. Subscribe and like. And remember, we're on Spotify, all the audio platforms, and on YouTube. And if you want to hit the subscription button, go to dangoldberg.com, and all the icons are on the bottom.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll see you next time on Digging for Gold.